So this just in. I'm out here minding my business, gardening, watering my container garden. And all of a sudden I hear this big clash. And you know, just a crazy crunching clash sound, right? And then a boom. And the wires are shaking, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, is it a car wreck? Somebody hit it? You know, it just sounded horrible. No, this tree fell. And so it's blocking the street. The lines are down, obviously. There was a guy that was just about to go under, you know, drive that way. And thank God he didn't. He stopped right before it fell. That was a God thing, y'all. So anyway, no one's hurt. It's just crazy. So the hubby ran down there to see and make sure that nobody was hurt. I called 911. Nobody's under the tree. There's no cars or people, so that's good. And this street is usually active with kids, so that's why I was so concerned. But it looks like everybody's okay. It's just a random act of nature. So yeah, so while we're on here, I'll show you some things in the garden, but I'm gonna let my blood pressure come down just a bit and my heart rate scared me to death. And I didn't know where little Big Girl Farmer was because she didn't tell me she went in the house. You know, you turn your back for a second and those children just look, the kids are out down there now. The kids just disappear on you so fast. But anywho, yeah, it's crazy. It just came tumbling down on its own from that yard right there. All right, y'all, hold up. So the garden is definitely productive. We got our first few, probably about a handful of cherry tomatoes. We have about 5 or 6 squash, you know, and peppers galore. And so everything is starting to set. Here are the okra. I think we're gonna have some dwarf okra plants. That's what I'm gonna call them. Actually, I think they're just stunted, but they are healthy. But they've already started to set flowers, and typically the okra, when they're that small, they don't start to set flowers yet. So that's why I think they're a little stunted. That's okay. And that happens sometimes if you leave them in their containers too long and they get root bound and things like that. But they're healthy, beautiful plants. It's just, you know, they're small, but they will still produce. And actually, this I have a few okra that are flowers that did bloom, and they just fell in here. Let's see. Yeah. So there's an okra blossom that just fell off. So we'll see what it does. Okra is in the hibiscus family. And that's why those flowers are so beautiful, and they look like hibiscus plants. The Armenian cucumbers are thriving. They're doing really well. Got some bee action this morning, and we got a few cucumbers coming on. Let's see. Right. I know I saw one. There's one right there. Look at there. So I'm excited about that. I hear the fire trucks coming. Yep. There's the popo, and I hear the fire truck coming as well. So I'm so glad nobody's hurt. The tomatoes on the cattle pedal trellis are doing well. This one squash plant is still going at it, trying its best, but tons and tons of things going on. Like I said, we have tons of peppers producing. My container garden is doing really well. So I'm just really excited about the season. It's been slow. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but the growing season has definitely been slow. Oh, here we go with these squirrels. Now, we already know they've been trying to get at me, right? But look, right before the tomatoes ripen, right as they're ripening, what do? Take a bite and then have a nerve to leave it. Ain't that something? So these look like my black cherry tomatoes, and y'all know I love them. Honey, I love them. Okay. Got some Jimmy Nardellos going on right there. Yep. And my zinnias are coming up and looking great. Yep. Got some beans going on over here on the other side of the tomatoes. I put some landscaping fabric down because what I found was when we're mowing and weed eating, it's so hard to see this, right, when the grass comes up. So some volunteers helped me put this down yesterday, and so I'm hoping to get we didn't get it all done, but I'm hoping to get that done so we don't have a problem seeing the lines anymore. This was, somebody gave me this and it said a habanero, and I looked up habanero and it doesn't look like habaneros, like a habanero plant, except it may mimic a cherry tomato plant. I mean, not cherry tomato, a black habanero. But I had another one come up over there, and I didn't buy the Armenian cucumbers, and I did not post. I didn't put it there. I didn't plant it there. So that's why I'm thinking this might be a weed that is mimicking or looking like a black habanero of some sort, or chocolate habanero, I think is what it's called. This zinnia is just so pretty. So I don't know. My purple beans, red burgundy bush bean, are doing well. The asparagus beans are starting to set flowers. Look at how gorgeous. And you know, just got some growth everywhere, y'all. These are the first crop of purple beans, and finally got that mustard bed together. And this bed is out of order right now. We're just gonna prepare it for the fall. And my cowpeas, my field peas, are doing wonderful. Look at how great they look. And I haven't even watered, y'all. Haven't even watered one bit, and they're looking great. Haven't set fruit yet, but they're on their way. They're on their way, setting fruit. And this is my first time growing them, so I wasn't sure how they grew. And so now I know that they will bush first. They'll bush first, and then they'll kind of vine. But it looks like they're supporting themselves. You see how they're intertwining? Yeah. And then here's some collards that I didn't pull up. And I'm just going to let them be. I'm going to let them be. Look at this bed, y'all, full of weeds, right? So this bed is out of order as well. We're not using this bed right now, which is wasted space. I just haven't had a chance to weed it. So anyway, let me let y'all look at the container garden real quick without falling. My Kentucky winter pole beans. And I love trellising. I just absolutely love it. It's great for small space gardens. Look at the beans that are on here. Yeah, look at those beans. And so we've harvested once. It's about time to do it again. And here's my container garden. It's definitely expanded, gotten bigger. I was over here watering, minding my business when that tree fell. So I still have to finish watering. In the backyard, we have, I know I don't show y'all everything in the backyard all the time, but let me show y'all the grapes real quick. Look at those. We're so happy, right? So it looks like the birds or somebody's already picking at them. So we need to go ahead and get those off. First time ever growing grapes. So we may, and what I've learned is water and just leave it alone. Just water and leave it alone. These are red bearded onions. Bunch of onions. My raspberry canes, you know. I planted some sun gold carrots here. They have not come up yet, and it's been a couple of weeks. Carrots are sometimes really slow to germinate, especially when it's hot. Got a few more pepper plants back here that we potted up yesterday. This is all herbs that have gone to seed or flowered, and I was working on cutting them back. So I started with the mint because somebody asked me for some, so I got the good stuff. But I had to cut it back pretty much a lot, right, to get to the good stuff. But the parsley, I've cut it back a bit, but it's coming back. That's what it does, y'all. That's what it does. It's a perennial here, so my parsley, my oregano, you know, it looks horrible, but all you gotta do is cut it back, wait for it to get cool again, and it will do fine. It will do fine, okay? And it overwinters. So I'm gonna have some cucumbers going up the trellis here. And so I got some plants in the ground on both sides, and it's deep enough to where it's not in the wood chips, okay? So I dug all the way down and it should be fine. I planted some tomatoes here a couple years ago, and they did great. It was my first time ever planting in the ground, directly in the native soil, and they did incredibly good. But I put several seeds down, so me and some volunteers, there's one of those lizards in the pot. Look at that. I hate those things. But we dug the plants up that was plentiful, that we didn't need, and potted them. So we're just going to leave them here and let them grow. And then these are little finger carrots, and they came up great. But my sun golds are not coming up. This is a bed that I just let go. It reseeds every year with marigolds. There's thyme in there, and some collard greens just happen to be there. And so that's it. That's pretty much the backyard. So I hope everybody is doing well. Let me know if anything exciting has happened in your garden lately. Maybe not as exciting as a tree falling and you having to call 911. But, and I called 911 just because I just saw a car head that way. So I didn't know if the tree, had fell on the car. But, and the power lines are down too. So, that needs to be taken care of. But anyway, love y'all. I'll talk at you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.